Last time on Pride of the Beast, Gohan fully commits to being a Saiyan for the first time since the Cell games, earning the respect for the first time since the Cell games from Vegeta. Vegeta finally respects Gohan, and the fight is on. After they both power up to their fullest extent, they are going into the ending rounds of their battle, because this is not an exhibition match anymore. This is not a skirmish. This is a battle between two Saiyan prodigies. We have the son, the heir of Goku, and the heir of planet Vegeta. Let's continue. Vegeta and Gohan both are barreling towards each other, two juggernauts of Dragon Ball, the highest rung of power scaling when it comes not only to Dragon Ball characters, but to Saiyans themselves. They are hurtling towards each other with fists in tow, about to clash. This is Battle of the Titans, and a fight that we probably won't ever get in OG Dragon Ball, but in the fanverse, this is happening, and it's happening right now. After Goku has pushed this fight from the very beginning, from its inception, this dude was the cheerleader for them fighting and going all out. Gohan, don't hold back, you got this, not worrying about anything. At the last possible second before their fists clash, Goku's like, you guys better stop it. Like this, they're gonna stop in mid-fight. They're gonna stop in mid-punch. That's really gonna do something. I feel like Goku just wanted to say something because, you know, he understands the consequences of what's about to happen, but he wants to be like, hey, I told them to stop, you know, even though they were like milliseconds away from each other. But I did say something. I said something, because what ends up happening is that when their fists clash, it shatters reality. The same effect that we got when Gogeta fought against Broly and they shattered through dimensions, which is probably one of the coolest fights in all of Dragon Ball history, and honestly one of the coolest realms to fight in, which is, I don't know, the Shattered Realm, because you have to break reality to get there. Vegeta and Gohan finally have taken it upon themselves to break through this realm, into this realm, shattering all reality. And now they are in no man's land. And yeah, that just shows what level of power these two characters are at right now, because they are accomplishing what a fully enraged Broly and a Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta accomplished on their own. Of course, Gohan is the first one to realize that they're not in Kansas anymore. Like, where are we? What the hell is this place? It looks like we are in an alternate dimension, which is something, of course, that Gohan would probably like pick up on very relatively easily. And I don't know if the Saiyan transformations affect like their intelligence level or them being smarter or whatever. I don't know if it affects that at all. But yeah, Gohan seems to already kind of like relatively quickly pick up on the fact that they're in like a completely different dimension, when like all we got from Gogeta in the past was, whoa, you know, or something along those lines. He was like, what, you know, what the hell is this? You know, he didn't know where they were. And so, keeping with Gogeta's sentiment, Vegeta is like, well, that's great. I mean, he doesn't care about going back. He doesn't care if they're lost forever. He's like, we're in a completely different dimension. That means there are no rules. The rule is there are no rules. That means that we do not hold back whatsoever. We are 110% going hand to hand. There is nothing that can stop us now, because there is no danger to anybody else or any universe or whatever. But honestly, with Goku, you know, being worried about them breaking through dimensions, and in the past, the worry about breaking through dimensions, especially with Super Saiyan God, I think that the longer they stay in these dimensions, it could be like a wormhole opening up in the reality that they're from. It could be a huge, huge problem. But that's boring, guys. That's boring talk. You know, who cares about the consequences of things? Who cares about what happens next or what doesn't happen next? It's time to, you know, run the fade, because they are just going at it. Like, they literally waste no time. I'm assuming Vegeta attacks Gohan first. We don't really get to see exactly what ends up happening, but I'm assuming with very huge assumption here, but more likely correct, yeah, Vegeta was the first one to throw hands. So we can see right here like how awesome Dark Hand's artwork is. the impact frames of all these punches are just phenomenal. I mean, it looks like, as I stated, Vegeta was the first one to throw hands. I'm reading this at the same time of me recording it, so I don't know what comes next, and I wanted to keep all my reviews like that, just as liquid and as real as possible. But yeah, I guess it was Vegeta. It obviously was. Vegeta was the first one to throw hands after finding out they're in a completely different dimension, which makes sense from the story because Gohan is more of a cautious warrior and he's more intellectual. Probably himself is going to be thinking about how this could affect reality, how this could affect back home, Videl, Pan. He's not just thinking selfishly, even though he's full of all those Saiyan hormones and Saiyan testosterone that's running through his veins, but he quickly ends up recovering and punching Vegeta in like the age-old I'm punching in your stomach, but it looks like that shit's gonna go right through into your spine, into the back of your spine. And yeah, that punch is sinking in. It's enough for Vegeta to spit out some blood. The only kind of suggestion that I would have had for this scene is how in old Dragon Ball, when you would have gotten punched like this and you would have started spitting up blood, your eyes would kind of go white for a second because you're about to pass out. That would have been cool to see here, just to see the impact of it. But I get it. We're trying to keep them at the relatively, the same amount of power that they are, like just not one stronger than the other one, even though each one has different abilities and strengths. Right now, we really only seen Vegeta's kind of unique abilities, and we have really none for Beast Gohan besides he's strong and he's got Special Beam Cannon. Unfortunately for Gohan, that punch left his face wide open, and that's one thing that I'm really enjoying from Dark Hand's fights, is they make sense. One thing leads to another thing. You can see it, the progression. It's like watching an anime. It's like watching a movie. You can see the one punch left him open to a elbow right in the cheek, and that's enough to, try to knock out somebody, but not obviously Beast Gohan, who goes in for a kick, only for Gohan to miss because Vegeta ends up teleporting or evading relatively quickly and coming right back at him toward his blind spot. Gohan's able to block it just in time as Vegeta goes in to try to get another elbow. He's trying to knock him out or break his jaw or something, because he came in with one elbow only to come in with another elbow, trying to knock out Gohan. I think that's exactly what Vegeta's doing, and I think he's doing that because there's a time limit here, because Vegeta knows that he has a limit of how long you keep Ultra Ego and how much damage he can ultimately take, similar to the battle with Granola, while Gohan really has an endless amount of ki right now, similar to Broly. Vegeta kicks Gohan again. This is the second time he's kicking him away from him, and I think he's trying to get some distance to try to do something. He's trying to end him any way he can, and I feel like he also knows that Gohan has the reach advantage. Gohan is way taller than Vegeta. His arms are longer. He has more length to him, and so Vegeta needs to get him a little bit distance there so that way he can attack him with some sort of beam attack. I mean, Gohan really is unfazed. He stops himself in mid-air. I don't know if that's exactly what they have in this realm. I don't know if they have anything else. They have to have air. They're breathing. So, okay, this realm, I would say for the sake of them still breathing, it has air or something equivalent to air. And yeah, he stops himself mid-air and looks like he's pulling back to do some sort of attack. Something is coming. Vegeta says that it's time to end this, and I think that's partly because Vegeta, again, as quickly as he's trying to attack Gohan, he has a time limit. He cannot just bullshit forever. Even though he can take the damage and get stronger, there's a limit to how much damage he can take, even though he is getting stronger while still taking it, but his body has a limit. And so he says, let's end this in the next attack. But Gohan is already way ahead of him. He already had pulled back and was igniting an attack that I've never seen, but should absolutely be one of his finishers, at least in one of the video games whenever they put Beast Gohan in, because this looks raw as hell. And see, Vegeta says it right here. Like, I know these characters so freaking well. He says it right fucking here. He says, it's better not to underestimate it. He is learning how to use these new powers very well. So he's trying to put Gohan into the ground right now by goading him to do like some sort of beam clash, which is not Vegeta's specialty, because Vegeta, he only gets stronger with how much damage he takes. He's not taking damage while doing this, while Gohan has the ki reserves to continue in a prolonged ki struggle. And so even if Vegeta, as you see right here, he's going into Final Flash stance as Ultra Ego, this may be a very, very powerful attack, and honestly one of his finishers. But at the end of the day, again, he has to see how much power he's got in reserve to draw from to continue a prolonged beam struggle. So let's see exactly who is going to come out on top when it comes to this beam struggle, and if I'm correct again about the power reserves. So in this scene, we get a perspective from Vegeta's point of view, where you can see how big the attack that Gohan has made. Again, the reserves. So just visually, you can see like these things are planetary. They look like death balls, is what they look like. Even bigger, the supernova that Cooler has, that's exactly what they look like. You see Gohan, you can barely see him in the distance, but look how big look how big these balls are. Look how big they are, man. And so you can tell, you can see here that Gohan seems to have the advantage, while Vegeta is, I mean, his ball is a little bit smaller. Like as what he's bringing to the table for this Final Flash, it ain't even close to as big as this. But I think that what the difference is going to be, he's going to be using one of his abilities, which is going to be the Hakai. I think this is a Hakai Final Flash because it looks just like Hakai. I understand that Vegeta has all this purple ki around him, surrounding him, because of the fact that he is Ultra Ego. But at the end of the day, this little ball right here has Hakai energy. It looks like Hakai. Vegeta's capable of it. I'm almost positive this is Hakai, so it doesn't matter how big his attack is. If his attack can literally cut through Gohan's attack like butter and just delete most of it, then yeah, it's going to be far more deadly to Gohan ultimately, because Gohan just wasted all that energy, and if it gets Hakai'd, he just wasted it for no reason. Oh, it's a Beast Masenko. I was thinking Masenko, but I don't remember Masenko looking like that. I guess I always remember him just bringing it up to his forehead and then doing Masenko, not actually making the balls first and then shooting it in one attack, in one beam attack. So we get the OG Gohan attack here from Namek, Masenko, Beast Gohan Masenko against Vegeta's Final Flash. Like, these are the remnants of old DBZ, classic vintage DBZ, and I absolutely love it. And the balls actually got way smaller when he pulled them in, so he's concentrating his attack similar to the way Vegeta's doing it. I fucking knew it. Look at that. And I'm telling you, I promise you, I did not read this ahead of time. Hakai Final Flash. This theoretically should erase and eliminate Gohan's Masenko. It should just destroy it. It's done it before. It's just energy. It's just ki. It's not actually Gohan. So even though it may not Hakai Gohan, because, you know, Vegeta already failed that already, it could seriously wound him, but it definitely should erase Gohan's Masenko attack, Beast Masenko even. It should just erase it. And the clash is on. Look at this. Look at this beam struggle. And the reason I like this so much is because you can see that Gohan had a head start. He started this attack way faster and way earlier than Vegeta started his Final Flash. And remember, Vegeta's Final Flash takes a little bit of time to charge up, so this attack is already closer to Vegeta. So Vegeta's at a disadvantage, and the only way this is going to come out on top and in favor for Vegeta is if his Final Flash starts erasing Beast Gohan's Masenko. You see the electricity here coming through, and there is a little word bubble here that says true. True means dimension starting to crack like glass. So basically, this means that this attack is cracking the fabric of the dimension, the shattered dimension, more likely bringing them back to reality, similar to what happened in Dragon Ball Super Broly. And now that the beam struggle is in full effect, he's winning. His beam attack has gotten bigger. It has pushed Gohan's back. It looks like it could be erasing some of the momentum that Gohan's attack had, because it is a Hakai attack. And yeah, this panel is just fantastic. Look at how cool this looks. Look at Gohan. Look at Vegeta. Like, this, I would love to see this animated. Like, you talk about animating anything. Like, some of these fan mangas need to be, like this one specifically, it needs to be animated, but it costs like a fortune to animate 110%. As the fabric of the shattered dimension begins to crack, which I'm assuming takes a lot more power to crack the shattered dimension, which is already shattered. I'm calling it the shattered dimension. I don't know what it's called. But It's already shattered. Probably takes more power to crack that, to bring them back to the real world, than it is to actually just crack the regular reality and then fall into the shadow dimension. But Goku's here trying to figure out where they're at, trying to go where they're at, but it's like they're missing, like they don't exist. They're not in this reality. He can't feel their ki. And he remembers that something like this happened when he was part of Gogeta against Broly. Vegeta is absolutely winning. Hakai is finally taking its full toll on Gohan's Masenko. Even if it's Beast Masenko, it's evaporating before his very eyes because of the nature of the Hakai ki. It's taking out the normal ki, and you can even see Vegeta is extremely pleased with the results, while Gohan is a little bit worse for wear, but he's like, I won't lose. I won't lose. He's begging, like, I can't lose to Vegeta. I can't, and I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I feel like Gohan would have more reserves of power here, but the nature of the Hakai beam, yeah, Gohan was goaded into accepting this attack on horrible terms, and that is when Gohan yells, "I won't lose," and an extra beast burst. I like this beast burst. It starts injecting itself into the attack, pushing the attack back toward Vegeta. Vegeta is holding the Hakai, and he is struggling now. He sees that, yeah, there's a little bit more pushback where he was about to win. It's not going to be that easy anymore. And with Vegeta adding a little bit more to the attacks are now even again, and they are so even that at the very end we get the classic fusion of the beam. Now the beam is a classic rope pull because they're pulling it back and forth. This attack, it's conjoined now, so now it's even worse. It's both the Hakai energy and the bestial energy in one, and it's going to be going back and forth, and it's connected. So there's really no out for these guys at this point. They can't evade unless they either win or lose. That's all they can do. And that is the end of today's chapter. Stay tuned because I'll have the ending of this fight as soon as I can.
Subscribe for more content.